You could go out, or going out could come to you. Lazy boy, long live the lazy.
When I touch not enough and she can't take the grind. Forget the small change, give me big money wine.
I got the loony.
Oh, you got the loony? Yes! Great full West Indian. Yeah?
This is...
You do a live shot on Sid.
Yeah, like, look at that.
Whoa, Sid got down.
Yeah, that's not really appropriate, I don't think. Here.
But that's what dollars.
Let me place the...
This is the loony, folks.
Thank you, Gato Flowers. Joke's on me. I can't get up. I can't get up. Let's go. Oh, thank you.
There we go.
All right.
In honor of National Lazy Day,
Sid Zimmer.
Lazy boy is standing up for your right to sit down and take a lazy moment.
Lightheaded.
Long live the lazy. How, might you ask? Well, they're giving a $1,000 gift certificate to one lucky BT viewer so you can relax with zero guilt.
Zero guilt's the best guilt. Entering is easy. Head to breakfasttelevision.ca/contest and click on Lazy Boy. Tell us your favorite way to spend your lazy time. Pictures can be included as well. Keep it clean. Good luck to everyone. All right, so like sometimes when we come in on a Monday, and we want to pull something from the news cycle Friday, it can be a little difficult, right? Like it's been a few days now, but this clip we're going to show you here is still really sticking in my mind.
Yeah.
So Ontario Premier Doug Ford picked Friday at like 12:30 to have a rare no-holds-barred media scrum with the political media establishment at Queen's Park here not far from us in Toronto. And the Greenbelt story is obviously taking hold here. The RCMP are now officially investigating whether or not the releasing of 15 sections of the Greenbelt to 2 developers was on the up and up. Premier Ford has said over and over again, nothing criminal has taken place here, and he welcomes the investigation. But some things were said in that media scrum, including the fact that he did not know that an $8 billion deal was taking place in his housing portfolio. This was the quote.
Let me tell you very simply, and it goes for any premier, you know, you get stuff put in front of you before cabinet, which I did. My exact words, cross the T's, dot the I's, everything's fine. I can't micromanage one of the largest, I call it a corporation, one of the largest corporations in North America of $204 billion of revenue, hundreds of thousands of employees, a GDP over $1 trillion, and micromanage every single person. I don't believe in micromanaging. I believe in delegating work through our ministers and their teams.
Okay, Tammy, that line specifically got a lot of play. And for the record, he doubled down on everything he's previously said about this story. He really didn't venture far. But the microman, as a premier, is that not part of the job to a certain extent, to really oversee certain things, especially when housing is right now, according to the premier, his #1 priority? Is that not a weird thing to say?
I would say it's a massive issue. And I think when he says delegation as well, I don't know if he intended to do this or not, but I feel like it puts more of a bullseye, again, on the housing minister, Steve Clark. You would think that if you're delegating something like that, it would go to the housing ministry itself. Steve Clark has said as well that he was not aware of exactly how his chief of staff chose those sections and those developers in particular. So I feel like the premier saying, I delegated that. The housing minister has also kind of hinted to the same thing. Well, you know, I have staff who did that kind of thing. But as the housing minister, I do feel like you need to know when it's something so controversial as to open up the Greenbelt as it was and know how these sections were chosen and how these people became involved and what kind of money was going to be made out of it. I feel like you should have an idea of exactly how this went down. Maybe you're not, you know, fingers deep in there figuring it out yourself, but you just have an idea.
And the chief of staff of the housing minister resigned last week. Yeah. We haven't heard the end of that story, I guarantee you. That's, if you see him under the bus somewhere in Ontario, that's who it is. Yeah. Frankie, the micromanaging line, did it bother you the way it bothered me?
It did bother me because it's mismanagement. So if we think about a line of business that's a significant line of business, he said it's a $240 billion corporation. This is $8 billion. That's a significant line of business.
Yes.
And this is also a decision that affects the brand of your company. Let's just do it as a corporation.
He's calling it a corporation, yeah.
Right? So if you're going to call it like that, a good business decision, if you have a transaction that's happening that big, that could actually politically affect your brand, you need to have a pulse on that. You can give delegation, but you still need a pulse on your business. And then he's not running a good business.
Debo Brown?
Same idea, man. You have a business. I've run many events where I've had to delegate, but I still find out what's going on. I'm not going to micromanage you. You're going to go figure out what you have to do, what I've been delegated. But then you come back to me and I say, okay, this is done. This has been done. Okay, great. How'd you get to this point? It's not micromanaging. It's finding out. If you are running some sort of business, it is your job. That's what the people who voted for you want you to do.
Yep. Do it.
It's the point of your job.
I just find it weird how you can tell me you don't like to micromanage, but tell me the same breath, I'm 100% convinced there was no criminal act that took place. That, to me, you got to pick one there. You got to pick one. RCMP's investigating. We'll find out. All right, shifting gears, another major story from the weekend. Shout out to the late Bob Barker, passing away at the age of 99. Our You sound off here. Let's keep it positive and salute some of the great shows and hosts and game show history on television. What's your favorite? Feedback at breakfasttelevision.ca. Those are the ways to get a hold of us. More BT coming up.